Hello everyone, welcome to the Dankest Dungeon. Today we're going to be playing with our very first commanders. So what that means is we're going to use our memories to remember back to when we first started Commander and the deck we were playing at the time and rebuild it. Not necessarily like how they were before, but a modern, updated version of that deck. So let's go ahead and see what everyone's bringing to the table. Hey everyone, it's Jason, and today I'm going to be playing Memnarch. This was the very first commander I ever played 15 plus years ago when I got into Commander, or I guess it was EDH at the time. It's basically mono blue, take everyone else's stuff.
Hey guys, it's David. I'm back. The first deck I ever made was Yarok the Desecrated, and today we're focusing on Landfall.
Howdy guys, it's Nate. Today me and Rafiq of the Many here have a great deal for you. Did you, at your last family gathering, make war with your family members over some political nonsense and you're trying to make peace for it? I got a sword for that. Is it a new year and you're trying to work on your body and your mind? I have a sword for that. Do you really just like candles and ice cold bath? I have a sword for that. See if I have a sword for you today. Call 1-800-800-808 and we'll get you hooked up.
Hey guys, Steve back here, and much to Jason's dismay, I'm not playing green today. I'm actually going back to my roots with Sedris the Traitor King and the OG game plan of see if I can rip some dragons out of the graveyard.
Let's go ahead and roll off. I got an 8.
6.
3, 4.
Oh, I'll go first. I'm gonna put this back.
I'm gonna give it a try.
I needed one more land.
Gotta more look at myself.
I'm gonna go ahead and try this. I don't know if I should, but I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start it off. Draw up return. I will play Snow-Covered Island and pass my turn.
I will shock in a breeding pool to play a Birds of Paradise, and I will pass.
Untap, upkeep, draw. I will play a forest and follow that Birds of Paradise with my own Birds of Paradise and pass.
Draw, Polluted Delta, Crack Delta for the Grixis Triumph, and pass.
I'm going to draw off return, play a Snow-Covered Island. I will pay 2 for a Sapphire Medallion. My blue spells cost 1 less. I'll pass.
Tap draw. Tap Birds for a Soul Ring. Breeding Pool and Soul Ring floating 1 for an Aftermath Analyst. When it enters the battlefield, I mill 3 cards, and I can pay 4 and sacrifice it and return all land cards from the graveyard to the battlefield. Milling Loot, Findhorn, and a Dryad Arbor. And I'll pass turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. A Sparrow's Headquarters. It's going to enter tapped because it has to. I'm going to pay 2. I'm going to Farseek. I'm going to search for basic land type that isn't a forest and put it on the battlefield tapped. A Prairie Stream. And Sega.
I'm gonna play an island for turn, tap 2 for Rakdos Signet, and pass turn.
I'm going to untap and draw. Miss my land drop.
That's what I love to hear.
Pay 1. This is being reduced by 2. 1 from the medallion's ability and 1 from the medallion being an artifact. I will cast Emery, Lurker of the Lock. I will mill the top 4 cards in my library. Chain of Vapor, Mishra's Bauble, Cyclonic Rift, and Palancron. I can tap her to be able to play an artifact from my graveyard. Pay 1 blue. It's being reduced by 1 for Volatile Stormdrake. When it comes into play, I get 4 energy, and I'm going to take something. I'm going to take Nate's Birds of Paradise.
Why am I?
Just because I don't like you.
Okay.
Okay, it's a swap.
Nice.
And I will pay the 1 energy to keep it. I'll pass turn.
Untap, draw, shock in a Watery Grave, green, green, and 2. Play a Conduit of Worlds. I can play land cards from my graveyard. I can tap it, choose a non-land permanent in my graveyard. If I haven't cast a spell this turn, I may cast a spell. If I do, I can't cast additional spells this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. I will pass.
I'm going to play a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. We all have forests, guys.
Yes.
I'm going to pay 4. I'm going to cast Rafiq of the Many. It's a 3/3 with Exalted. Exalted says when a creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. He has when a creature I control attacks alone, it gets double strike until end of turn. Jason.
Yeah. I'll take 6.
Nah, 8. Don't steal my bird. Faster.
I guess I should have asked what Rafiq did before I did that.
Since the early 2000s, he has been the one-punch man. We're going to play Foreboding Ruins for turn, and I have to reveal a Swamper Mountain. Otherwise, he comes in tapped. I will reveal a Blood Crypt.
Ooh, both.
Tap 1, Stitcher Supplier. When he enters a battlefield or dies, put the top 3 cards in my library into the graveyard. Dragon Skull, Terror of the Peaks, and Phyrexian Metamorph. Nightscape Familiar, blue spells and red spells I cast cost 1 less to cast, 2 to regenerate it. Pay the last mana for Impending Overload of the Bale Mark. 5 time counters, and when he enters or attacks, I mill 4 cards, and then I may return a non-avatar creature or planeswalker card from my graveyard to my hand. We will pull Trinket Mage, and that'll be it for me.
I'm gonna untap and draw. Tap Emery, so I can play an artifact from my graveyard. I'll play Mishra's Bauble for free. Yeah, I'll activate Mishra's Bauble, sack it, look at the top card of my library, and I'll draw a card on the next upkeep. I'm gonna pay 3 for Vidalcan Shackles. I can pay 2 and tap it, take control of a creature equal to or less than the number of islands I control. I'll help it survive another turn so I can take the Storm Drake. Go ahead. His upkeep, I will draw a card.
I will play land for turn, Dryad Arbor from the grave.
Nice.
Cast Eldritch Evolution to sacrifice Aftermath Analyst to go get a 4-drop or less.
I'm playing pure magic here, combat. No tricks. I'm here to stab you all.
We're going to get an Oracle of Moldiah.
Ooh.
Can play an additional land on each of my turns. I can play with the top card of my library revealed. I may play lands from the top. Ooh, it is a land. I'm going to play Hedge Maze from the top of my library. Surveil. I'll put Obnixilis in the bin. I will go ahead and pass turn.
Draw. I will play this island for turn. I'm going to pay 3. The first of many. Here is a Sword of Hearth and Home. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and pro green-white. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, exile up to 1 target creature I own. Then search my library for a basic land card. Put both onto the battlefield under my control, then shuffle. Put it on to Rafiq of the Many. Rafiq of the Many is going to smack you. It is a 3/4/6, so it's 6 with double strike.
I will take 12.
All right. 2 triggers of Hearth and Home. I'm going to bounce my Bop, and I'm going to get a land, and I'm going to get a land. I'm going to grab an island and a plains, and I will pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, time counter, draw for turn. Pay 2 for Trinket Mage, Expedition Map. Play Blood Crypt tapped as land for turn. Tap the Ruins for aforementioned Expedition Map. Actually, I'm gonna pay the 2 life into Blood Crypt and keep that untapped. Pass turn.
Untapping, drawing. I'm gonna play Snow Covered Island. I'm gonna tap Emery so I can cast Mishra's Bauble. I'll cast Mishra's Bauble. Pay 1 blue, play the Reality Chip. This is a legendary artifact creature equipment jellyfish. I can look at the top card of my library at any time. As long as it's attached to a creature, I can play lands and cast spells from the top of my library. It reconfigures for 1 blue and 2. I'm gonna look at the top card of my library. Wow. I'll pass. Oh yeah, you're dead next turn, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Sorry.
We're going
I would
to...
help you if I could.
I'll play a Perennial Behemoth, which importantly is colorless, so I can block things.
Damn it.
Lets me play lands from my graveyard. Has Unearth for 2 green. Go ahead and pass turn there.
At your end step. Going to Path the Behemoth. You will get a land. I got you, fam. Untap, upkeep, and draw. I'm going to cast a Finest Hour. It has Exalted. And whenever a creature I control attacks alone, if it's the first combat of the phase, untap that creature. There is another combat. I'm going to go to combat. David.
Yes.
Here is a 7/7 with
right.
pro white and green.
That is going to be commander damage. So I'm going to save someone else from being hit. Convoking a Court of Calling, X equaling 1.
Okay.
Iridescent Vine Lasher. It is going to block the first combat.
I'm gonna go to my second combat. Here's a 9/9 with double strike swinging at you.
I am very dead.
We need to get him off board before he gets pro black blue.
2 triggers of Hearth and Home. We'll grab an island and a plains again. 5. I would like to single combat. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifices the rest. Players can't cast creatures or planeswalkers until the end of my next turn.
Well, I'm gonna definitely keep my Nightscape.
I'm gonna lose the Bop and the Storm Drake.
Trigger on the Stitcher Supplier, and I'm gonna mill 3 more cards to my graveyard.
I'm gonna keep Emery and lose the Reality Chip.
At the end of your turn, we're gonna crack the map. Find a Maze of Ith.
Oh shit! I'm still not.
I hate you for that.
That goes to my hand, so then I go to my turn. Untap, upkeep, time counter. We'll land for turns of Maze of Ith.
Yep.
It's crazy, right? Play a Phyrexian Arena.
Nice.
2 more for Black Market Connections.
Nice.
That'll be it for me.
In your turn, I'll activate Mishra's Bauble. I'll look at the top card of Nate's library. It's a Stoneforge Mystic. Are you enjoying our content? Want to help support the show? Consider joining our Patreon for some dank benefits, including access to our full deck list, voting privileges for polls, shoutouts at the end of our videos, and more. Don't want to give us any money? We get it. Subscribing to the channel, liking our videos, and commenting down below also help as well, and are totally free. Thank you so much everyone for your support. Let's get back to the video. Then I'll go to my turn. I will draw for Mishra's Wobble. I will draw for turn. I'm going to pay 3 life for Seagate Reborn to come into play untapped. Not an island, unfortunately. I'm going to tap Emery, play Mishra's Wobble. I'm going to pay 1 blue to Preordain, which I should have done first because they probably hit an island here. Scry 2. 1 on top, 1 on bottom, and draw. I will pass the turn.
Untap and draw. Go to combat. Jason, here is a 7/7 with double strike swinging at you.
I'll go by.
Sadly, I have a monkey. I'll go to main 2. I'm going to give him a Sword of Hearth and Home. And I can't play creatures, so go nuts.
Untap, upkeep, time counter.
During your upkeep, I'm going to take your Nightscape.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will full send with the Black Market Connections and Phyrexian for a total of 7 life.
Nice.
Shapeshifter, treasure. We'll draw 3 cards. Clear Water Pathway, land for turn. Tap the island for a Soul Ring. 6, and we'll cast Sedris. Each creature card in my graveyard has unearthed for 2 and a black. Pass turn.
End your turn. I'll activate Mishra's Wobble. I'll target myself. Go to my turn. I'm not going to untap Vidalcan Shackles. Draw for Mishra's Wobble, draw for turn. Play a Lotus Petal. I can sack it for a mana. I'm going to sack the Lotus Petal for a blue. Tap her and replay it. I'll sack it for another blue. And 1 for Basalt Monolith. I could tap it for 3 mana. It doesn't untap. I'm going to tap it for 3, plus an additional 1 for the One Ring. It's indestructible. When I cast it, I get protection for the turn. Tap it, draw cards. Everyone knows what the One Ring does. That's it, unfortunately.
Untap, upkeep, draw. I have a proposition for you. Let me hit you. It's not going to kill you, but I can pop the Basalt Monolith and the Shackles.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm going to pay 2 to Pure Steel Paladin. When an equipment enters the battlefield under my control, I may draw a card. Metalcraft, so if I have 3 or more artifacts, my equipment have equip 0. 2 for a Stoneforge Mystic. When it enters, I can search my library for an equipment, reveal it, and put it into my hand, and then shuffle. I'm going to grab a Sword of Sinew and Steel. Gets +2/+2, pro black and red, and when a crypt creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target planeswalker and 1 target artifact. It'll go to my hand. I'm going to pay 3 and play the Sword of Sinew and Steel. Draw a card when it enters from Pure Steel.
Negate.
Or not. I tried. I got nothing.
Upkeep, time counter, full send.
6 life so far for Shapeshifters.
I mean, they're colorless blockers.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Notably, they are also dragons. Play Shivan Reef as land for turn.
But not
or
getting.
Relic of Sauron. Add 2 mana in any combination of Grixis colors. And then for 3 and tap, I can draw 2, then discard a card. And just for the turn, we're going to unearth Stitcher Supplier, mill the top 3 cards in my library of the graveyard, and then Nate, I'm gonna threaten you with a 1/1.
I will gladly block with this 5/5.
And that'll be it for me.
End of your turn, I'm going to activate the One Ring, put a burden counter on it. I will draw a card. Pay 1, it's being reduced by 1 to resculpt your commander. It will be exiled. You get a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. And I will go to my turn. Untapping, I will keep the Nightscape Familiar for now. I will lose a life from the One Ring. I will draw for turn. 2 mana, it's being reduced by 2 for Urza, Lord High Artificer. It's a 1/4. I could tap my artifacts for blue mana. When he enters the battlefield, he makes a construct who gets +1/+1 for each artifact I control. He also has an ability for 5 mana that will not be used unless if I get infinite mana with Basalt Monolith. I will activate the One Ring to draw 2 cards. Hey, there it is! Snow-covered island number 4. 1 blue mana to ponder. Go to the top 3. Play it like this. And draw a card. I'm going to pay 0 for an Everflowing Chalice. I can tap it for a blue with Urza still. That's why I'm doing that. 1 blue, being reduced by 2 to Windfall. So I have 2 cards.
I have 2.
In response, I'm gonna Chaos Warp your One Ring.
I will Swan Song that.
Right.
Do we get new hands?
We get new
So,
hands.
4 cards.
4 cards.
I'm going to tap Emery. I'm going to go ahead and cast my Jellyfish. And I will pass turn.
Green and 1. We're going to Broken Bond the Construct.
I'll tap it for a blue first.
Okay. 3. Hunter's Insight, the Pure Steel Paladin. When target creature I control deals combat damage this turn, draw that many cards. I'm going to pay 2. I'm going to move the Sword of Hearth and Home to the Pure Steel Paladin. Let's go to combat. Jason, 5/5 at you.
Nightscape's dead.
Okay.
No, my boy.
Combat, 6/6 at you.
Jellyfish is dead.
Okay. Pay 1, play Delighted Halfling, and say go.
Untap, upkeep. Last time counter off of Overlord. We're gonna full send though, and then we will draw 3 cards. I think we're gonna start off with Bajuka Bog in Jason's graveyard.
Yep, it's gone.
7/8. Bring out Sedris again. Going to combat. Overlord is gonna run at Jason, and then the rest of this house is going at Nate, because Nate needs to start getting hit back. One shapeshifter is going to be left behind because it is technically summoning sick.
I'm taking the 5.
Mill another 4 cards.
I take the 12 like a man.
We'll get Snapcaster back. That's no problem.
Goes to hand with
Goes to hand.
Right.
Pass turn, hope for the best.
I'm going to take 2 damage from the ring, and then I will draw for turn. Go ahead and put another burden counter on the ring, draw 3 additional cards.
Response to activation. I would like to Enlighten Tutor.
Am I good to draw?
Yeah, no other trick. I just don't want a maybe counter spell coming up off the top of that. No thanks. Sword of Once and Future.
I'm going to go ahead and play another Snow-Covered Island for turn. I'm going to pay 1 blue, High Tide. Until end of turn, whenever a player taps an island for mana, that player adds an additional blue. 7. Cast Memnarch. Legendary artifact creature wizard. I can pay 2 blue and 1. Target permanent becomes an artifact. In addition to its other types, they can pay 1 blue and 3. Gain control of target artifact.
In response, 4, and we're gonna Venser that back to your hand.
That'll go to my hand. Okay, well, I'll pay 2 for a Thought Vessel. A blue or Grand Architect. Other blue creatures to control get a +1/+1. I can pay a blue to make a creature blue. I can tap an untapped blue creature I control to add 2 mana. Spend it only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. Go ahead.
Draw. And activate Stoneforge Mystic to put the Sword of Once and Future from my hand onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
I'm going to draw a card with Pure Steel Paladin. Pay 2. I'm going to open the armory. I'm going to search my library for an aura or equipment, reveal it, put it into my hand. Grab a Sword of Fire and Ice. Pay 3, play the Sword of Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
Draw with Pure Steel Paladin. Let's put the Sword of Once and Future on the Beastie, and let's put the Sword of Fire and Ice on the Pure Steel Paladin. Play my land for turn being this Cathedral of War. It enters taps for colorless as exalted.
I'm going to use the Grand Architect's ability to tap Emery, 2 colorless to activate Vidalcan Shackles. I'm going to take Pure Steel Paladin.
Here you go. We'll swing 7 your way.
You can untap that and move it from combat.
Go to main 2. We'll move my Sword of Hearth and Home onto the Beastie, and we'll say go.
Untap. Upkeep. We're only gonna pay 1, 2, 3, 4 life. So we will do land for turn. We will just straight up cast the Snapcaster Mage. The target will be solve the equation. I'm gonna flash that back. Search my library for an instant or sorcery card, reveal, put in my hand, and then shuffle. Entomb to my hand, cast Entomb. Then we Entomb Udvar Hellkite. Whenever a dragon I control attacks, put a 6/6 dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. We're gonna unearth Terror of the Peaks. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. 3. Phyrexian Metamorph, the Terror of the Peaks. Trigger on that, I'm going to deal 5 damage to you, Nate. 3. We're going to unearth Udvar Hellkite, and we're going to do 2 triggers straight to Nate's face.
Take 12.
And then we are going to go to combats. Terror of the Peaks is going to attack. The copy of Terror is going to attack. Udvar is going to attack. And 3 shapeshifters / dragons are going to attack, which means that this will trigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, getting me 6/6/6 dragons, and I will do 2 triggers of 6 × 6 to both of your faces.
We'll both take 36.
And in the end, Steve is able to kill everyone with a bunch of dragons. Good, clean, magic fun. You'll love to see it. I hope you enjoyed that game as much as we did. See you around. Thanks, patrons, especially Jacob M., Paul K., Jared R., Thaddeus R., KGCB, Mad Hatter Mage CJ, and Jared N. And thank you to the rest of our patrons as well.